Hello, my fellow autistics and my allistic allies. Okay, so today is the 30th day of the 30 days of autism. Today is the last video, and this has been really fun, even when I haven't had a lot of spoons. It's been really fun to make this series. And today, as kind of a treat, I've been really excited for this. Since this is the last day, I've got a really good friend of mine. I consider her like a sister. This is my best friend, Alejandra.
Is that my cue to talk? Okay, hi.
Yep, hi. Okay, so she is here to kind of showcase one of my friendships with an allistic
I'm
person.
essentially the token allistic, and we're
Oh!
supposed to explain how good we relate to each other, how well we relate to each other.
Grammatical error. Burn.
Whatever. I
Haha.
corrected it.
I know you did.
Also, I learned Spanish before I learned English, so I deserve
A pass.
slack on that.
Yep, all the slack.
Totally kidding.
I have trouble telling when she's serious. It's okay.
It's okay, everyone else does. My sarcasm is very, monotone.
It's
My
integral.
voice is very monotone as a
Kind of.
general rule anyway.
I still love her though. And it's integral to her, so that's cool. Okay, so, I'm kind of making this video to ask her a few questions and kind of have her weigh in on some of the just issues she sees in the autistic community from an allistic's perspective and all of that. So, my first question for you: what is it like being close friends with someone on the spectrum?
I mean, it's really not that different from being friends with an allistic person because I try not to focus too much on, oh my gosh, she's autistic, she needs help, she's autistic. Because
So you don't infantilize me or infantilize
yeah, I
or whatever.
try not to because that's probably a bad thing. Because as a blind person, I don't like when that is fixated upon in a friendship. So I try my best to sort of understand that you need accommodations, but also not ask you all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's pretty cool sometimes, though, because you have random facts to tell me, and sometimes I just wonder how you got those facts, but it's still cool.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, I'll just be like, this was founded in 1976, and just be like,
Or
okay.
I'll name random abbreviations, and you just somehow know what they are.
Do you remember one of them?
I can't cite examples at the moment, but yeah, there are.
Oh, one of them I
situations.
think was, damn it, I'm trying to remember.
Oh, it was MTA. You knew
Oh,
what MTA was.
The
Because I
Metropolitan
didn't.
Transit Authority, yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that because I read, there was this one book where they mentioned it. Oh, what an ableist book. Let's see, what else? So, next question for you. My throat is dying. That's not the question. Fail. Okay, next question. So, what are some of the hardest things about being friends with someone on the spectrum?
I think the hardest thing for me is to try to figure out how to help you during a meltdown
Oh.
because I usually ask when you're kind of in the in between stage where you're kind of melting down but not really. I usually ask you what can I do, and then you tell me, but when you're completely nonverbal it's kind of difficult for me to figure out what should I do. Should I for example, if it's a sensory issue, should we leave from the place completely or should we just step outside for a few seconds? It's just kind of difficult, but not too difficult.
I mean, sometimes a few seconds can help, to a point where I can actually be fine enough to continue being at the place. But sometimes it's so bad that I'm just like, nope, I gotta go.
Also, the subtlety of ableism. I don't know when I'm being unconsciously ableist.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, some people, it's super hard for people to realize when they are being, and that's totally fine because it is kind of a minefield. It's kind of like social justice. How do I know when
Oh
I'm
yes, oh my gosh.
we both don't super support all the very kind of touchy-feely aspects of social justice because you don't know when you're being politically incorrect and you don't know we're old, so there are terms that were okay when we were younger and now they're not, and so it's
There
like,
are
what do I
certain
say?
definitions or certain things that are okay with certain people and not okay with other people, so it's kind of hard to keep track.
Yeah, and it's like a thing. I mean, trust me, that's totally a thing. I'm just like, what? I can't remember all this. I'm too autistic for this BS right here. Let's see what else. Okay, now what are at least one of the what is at least one of the easiest things of being friends with someone who has ASD?
I think, like, sort of the planning aspect. I'm not trying to, like, fixate on one of your traits or whatever, but it's just cool, like, that when I make plans with you, it's most likely that you're gonna actually keep them, and we're gonna do exactly what we set out to do, and we're not gonna, like, deviate, because that kind of stresses me out a little bit too.
Yeah.
When someone says, like, I'll meet you at 6, and then it's like 7:30, and you're still wondering where the hell they are.
You're like, what the F? Where are you not here?
But
What the
it's,
fuck,
like,
people?
cool that you're always, like, on time and
Yeah.
stuff, and you're always, like, you plan things out so I know exactly what to expect, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also just, like, I don't know. I think your fact stuff is cool, and your research stuff is, like...
Oh, yeah, research is a
fun.
huge special interest. Oh, my God. You can tell me one thing you want to know about, and suddenly I'm down a giant rabbit hole, and I have, like, 30 facts.
You're just, like, looking everything up. It's funny.
Okay, now, if you don't mind, and if you don't have one, that's fine, but what's the most fun thing about being friends with somebody who's autistic?
I think I like watching you special interest over stuff. It's, like, so amazing, because you're, like, so passionate about certain things, and I'm like...
Like the red noses?
It's nice to see that. Yes, the red noses. Oh my gosh.
Okay, go ahead and talk about that. I'm gonna try to get my red nose and put it on in this video.
She was, like, really obsessed with the concept of Red Nose Day, but she was obsessed with the red nose. She was, like, looking forward to it and counting down the days for when she would purchase a red nose. She knew everything about the charity that had the red nose.
Comic Relief.
And, yeah, it was... Yeah.
Okay.
It was interesting. It was fun.
So I'm back, and I'm actually wearing the red nose. Whoops, I have it on a little bit wrong. Let me fix that. Whoops, it's the other way around. Haha. It's right. Here we go. I'm currently wearing the red nose, and I sound kind of weird, but I don't really care.
You sound like you're on helium, but,
I know.
like, not really.
I'm wearing the red nose! I know, I sound weird. Okay, so this is the red nose, and for those of you who aren't familiar, quick summary, which is going to be hard. As a person with ASD, I'm more bound to give you a 2-page summary. So, quick summary, Red Nose Day is an event. There's a whole campaign, but there's a day where it all culminates. This year it's on the 23rd of May in the US. And Red Nose Day, it already passed in England, where it originated. But Red Nose Day, basically, you buy some red noses, and the money goes to Comic Relief, which is a charity that helps child poverty and stuff. So yeah, Red Nose Day. And this is a red nose, and I have one, and I pet it, and I go, who's a good nose? Or who's a good red nose? And I'm petting it right now. Look.
They should make a fluffy one so that it's more petable.
Fluffy red noses!
If that's even a word, but yeah.
That totally is a word. Here, I'm gonna take it off. Ugh, red nose! So cute. Okay, let's see what else. Alright, so what are some of the issues that you see in the autistic community, and what do you think are some good solutions?
I mean, I can't really speak for the autistic community because I'm not autistic, but having someone who's involved in it, I think one of the biggest issues for allistic people is that they are not aware of the neurodiversity movement, which is something so fundamental to a lot of autistics. And I think that, like, professionals especially need to be aware of that instead of always advocating for, like, ABA as the standard solution, because that doesn't necessarily work all the time. And little 4-year-olds shouldn't be indoctrinated that way anyway. It's, like, unethical in some ways.
And by the way, for those of you who are not familiar, ABA, also known as Applied Behavior Analysis, basically is kind of a reward system to change behaviors that parents or professionals find undesirable in autistic people. And by the way, if I can mention this, she's also got a perspective from the professional side of things.
I mean, I'm not a professional. I major in psychology, and I just thought it was kind of interesting how we didn't really touch on the neurodiversity movement or talk about any of those important issues, like identity first, language versus, like, person first language. We were just told, like, this is how you're supposed to say it. It wasn't like, this is how people prefer that you say it, or like, it's case by case. Like, if someone likes identity first, if someone likes person first, like,
yeah,
they just kind of told us we were supposed to use person first as like
as a default.
Yeah, it's like the default type thing. And also just ABA was the solution always, forever, in every case, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Very unethical, like I said before, that you're basically training little 3 and 4-year-olds the way you're training a dog.
Yes.
Because you're giving them, like, rewards if they do the desirable thing and punishments if they don't comply.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's very odd that parents haven't really, they haven't really said anything like, oh my god, my kid, is being trained to do this. Like, it's gotten better, but ABA years ago used to be, they would literally use cattle prods to shock the kids when they didn't comply. And they would use, I'm not even joking, they would use tape, and they would tape down the hands of the children, or the children's hands, so that they don't flap everywhere, and they learn that it's wrong.
Oh my gosh, that's gross on so many levels.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So many people, I've never met personally these people, but I know that there are several adults on Twitter that have been like, oh my god, I'm traumatized by this, and it's still a treatment. This was invented in the 70s, and it's still an accepted,
it's still an accepted mode of treatment as I said before, it's like the standard. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And also, I mean, it's not the parents' fault all the time, because the parents rely on the professionals to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
And when the parents do research, what comes up first is obviously what's more prominent, which is ABA.
And that's actually, believe it or not, that's actually a marketing scheme. Companies that do ABA pay Google to put their companies and their modes of, or their forms of treatment first, so that parents are more likely, especially scared new parents, are more likely to see this and go, oh, this is good. It's first, so it must be good. And
that's
do it.
That's
not ethical.
Not
yeah.
Good. Google is supposed to be objective, and it's supposed to be a search engine that provides all answers for you, but as we've seen so many times, it's really biased.
Right. And so, I have another question for you, if you don't mind. I just want to ask you, what would you personally do as a psychologist for autistics if you were given the chance?
I mean, to be honest, everything that I've heard from you has kind of made me disillusioned with the field of psychology in a way, because it's kind of mind-altering to see how little psychologists actually know about the person.
Right.
How they're just kind of treating the person as like a list of symptoms.
Yes.
And also just the DSM. The DSM is so problematic for so many reasons. Yeah.
The DSM. Nope.
But I think it's important for parents and professionals to learn about the alternatives to ABA and to propose those first, and to also make sure that they tell the parents, like, if professionals are talking with parents, they should emphasize that this kid is an individual, not just a list of symptoms.
Yes. Like, for example, with me, autism is a thing that defines me, but it's still just autism is something that defines me, but it is still just part of me. I'm a writer, I'm a singer, I'm gay. There are different things about me that make up my whole. Wait. Okay.
And it's a spectrum, too. So
yeah.
Some people respond differently to different treatments, and some treatments should apply to certain people, not others.
Right, and then some people display symptoms differently or traits differently than others. And so, yeah. So, there it is. I just kind of wanted to show, and by the way, for me, because I kind of want to do this now, I think the best part about having an autistic friend is getting a different perspective, and she's just a box of fun. It's kind of awesome. Like, we can laugh over just random stuff and hang out together, and she deals with when I'm having a creative moment and I'm like throwing ideas at her, and she's like, whoa. So she's awesome that way. And then it's nice when she's able to provide answers to ask her, wait, did I just say something really socially inappropriate?
Even though I'm socially awkward myself, but I try.
Yeah, she does. And so, thank you so much, Alejandra, for joining us in this video,
Sure.
or joining me, or whatever.
And if I said anything ableist, I'm really sorry. Totally didn't mean to.
I don't think you did.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I do think you're good. I don't think you did anything ableist or said anything ableist.
I just wanted to add that disclaimer, just in case.
Haha, disclaimer, star. For those of you who don't get that joke, you don't use a computer. No. So thank you so much. This whole challenge has been super fun, and even though I did skip around a little, I'm really grateful to have done this, and let's see, I might do it again next year, I'm not sure. But it was really awesome, and thank you so much for watching all of these videos, for the people who did, and for those of you who, run across my channel sometime or someday, welcome, and I'm glad that you guys watch my videos, and yeah, this was super fun. Thank you so much, seriously, for being here.
Sure.
Alright, like, comment, subscribe, please share this with your friends, Autistic or otherwise, and I'll see you guys. I'm actually going to take this week off, so I'll see you guys next Friday, not the Friday that's coming, but the one after that. That's the, hold on, like the 8th or the 10th or something. Alright, bye!